Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about how George Zimmerman is suing the parents of Tayvon Martin for $100 million for what he says is defamation of character. And he claims that there was false witnesses that were kind of coerced in his whole trial, and he feels a way about it. Also, we're going to be talking about Botham Jean's brother, actually, who just received an award for hugging Amber Geiger. I mean, I didn't even know there was such an award, but he got an award for hugging her during the murder trial of Amber for killing his brother. We're going to talk about that, but first we're going to talk about George Zimmerman. Okay, so like I said, he feels like there was some tampering in his little trial or whatever, that he didn't even go to jail for the rest of his life as he should have. So I don't even know why he has anything to say, like you got off on this. So, I mean, what's the problem? Like, you should literally be sitting in jail and you got something to say. Like, it's just crazy. But so let's get into the specifics of what his issues are and what he's trying to sue the parents of Tayvon Martin for $100 million for. Let me read through the Daily Mail and let's bring everybody up to speed on what's going on. Okay, so the article reads, George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch volunteer who was acquitted in the 2012 fatal shooting of an unarmed black teen, Tayvon Martin, is suing Martin's family and the Florida's prosecutors, claiming they engineered false evidence in the homicide trial. The lawsuit filed Wednesday in Polk County Circuit Court seeks $100 million in civil damages for defamation, abuse of civil process, and conspiracy. It alleges that the prosecution's key witness in Zimmerman's 2013 murder trial, Rachel, was an imposter coached by the family and their lawyers. Zimmerman, 36, is being represented by high-profile conservative legal crusader Larry Klayman, founder of Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, and a former U.S. Department of Justice prosecutor. Klayman released the full legal complaint to the media on Wednesday before it was officially filed. The complaint alleges that the Sanford Police Department thoroughly investigated the February 2012 shooting and closed the case as self-defense the following month. 1 week later, the suit claims that Crump produced a recording of Diamond Jean, who he said was Martin's 16-year-old girlfriend, who was on the phone with the victim minutes before the confrontation with Zimmerman. 2. After that, 18-year-old Gentile, Eugene's half-sister, appeared before the court and provided false statements to incriminate Zimmerman based on coaching from others. Klayman said the new lawsuit stemmed from shocking allegations exposed in a book that claims Martin's cell phone records prove Gentile was not on the phone with him before the altercation and that she lied repeatedly to cause Zimmerman's arrest and to try to send him to prison for life. The book charges that Eugene was Martin's real girlfriend and did speak with him prior to the shooting. However, it claims Eugene was switched out for Gentile when the former refused to testify. So that is a couple of excerpts that I took from the Daily Mail. Now I'm going to read a little bit from the Daily News, and it's kind of the same thing along the lines, but I just want to, just read two different articles and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so I'm going to be taking excerpts from this one as well. It says, the suit, which will be filed in Polk County Wednesday, his attorney told the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, alleges that the only reason Zimmerman was tried was due to the testimony of a fake witness. Zimmerman was charged with second-degree murder but was acquitted in July. It says he's suing on the grounds that the so-called fake witness had been coached to testify that she was Martin's girlfriend and that they had been on the phone just before he was shot. Neither of these things were the case, the lawsuit alleges, according to the Sun-Sentinel. Okay, so, I just wanted to kind of read two different articles. The articles go a little bit more in depth, but I'd be reading forever. And, that's kind of the main focal point. They had a couple other issues. I think they also had an issue with a book the lawyer that represented the Tayvon Martin family had, and they were also like going after him too. And they had a couple other things that, they had issues with or whatever. But the main part that they were mad about was this phone conversation that was said to had been had with his girlfriend, and them saying that it was one person was the girlfriend, then it was switched out to be another person, and all of this kind of stuff. I'm going to show you guys a part of the testimony that they are having a problem with, and just give you a little bit of another quick summary. So basically, when he did this and he killed Tayvon Martin, the police did not charge him or nothing. And basically, after this whole conversation came up that he had with this girlfriend, then that's when he was brought up on the charges. And then that's when he had to go to trial and go through the process and all of this kind of stuff. So he's saying if they would have never came with this, I guess, according to him, coached testimony, then it would have been all well and good because the police didn't have a problem with him killing Tayvon in the first place. They only got a problem now that there was this phone call that came into question, and he wants to sue them for $100 million, even though his silly ass, who should be in jail for murder for the rest of his life, got off and got acquitted. Even though he got acquitted and he's not rotting in prison for what he did, he wants to sue them because he feels like the original police findings should have stood. So it's a mess. The audacity of him, the audacity is just beyond me. But this is a part of the testimony in question in which he has an issue with.
When he told you that a man was watching him, did you say anything to him?
No, I didn't think it was a big idea.
I'm sorry.
I did not think it was a big idea. So no. I had asked him how the man looked like. He looked like a creepy ass cracker.
Okay. Let me make sure we got that. Creepy
ass cracker. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you recall him saying?
Yes.
Okay. And is that to mean like a white individual?
Yes, Caucasian.
Did Mr. Martin say the guy kept looking at him?
Yeah, and then he just told me he just wanted to try to lose him.
Okay.
But I started walking back home, because the rain calmed a little bit down.
Okay. So Mr. Martin told you he was going to try to lose the man?
Yeah, but I started walking home.
Okay. And did you say anything to him?
Nah, we're just talking. And then he told me the man following him now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The man kept following him?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he said, still following me now. That is still following me now.
That he's still following him?
Yes.
Okay, did he use a word to describe that?
Let's go slow, baby. Now is still following me.
Okay. Pardon my language, but did he say the word, pardon my language, did he use the word to describe the man now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's slang.
That's slang?
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you called him back, did you say something to Mr. Martin or did he say something to you? And take your time when you're answering.
He said I asked him where he at, and he told me he at the back of his daddy fiance house, like in the area where his daddy fiance buy his daddy fiance house.
Tell us what happened then.
And then I say Tayvon, and then he said, "Why are you following me for?" And then I heard a hard breath man come and say, "What you doing around here?"
Hard breathing man saying,
"What you doing around here?"
Okay, let me interrupt you. Is what you just told us a conversation that you're having with Tayvon or Trayvon's having with somebody else?
What happened to someone else?
Okay, that's what you're hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened?
Then I started saying Tayvon, what's going on? Then I heard a bump, and I had to feel it was a bump because the headset. Tayvon had a headset.
You heard a bump?
Yeah, a bump.
And what did you assume that was?
The headset.
Okay. What happened then?
Then I started hearing grass sounds, and grass sound, wet grass sound.
What do you mean you heard grass sound?
Like grass, wet grass.
Okay. Then what happened?
And then I was calling Tayvon, and then I started hearing a little bit of Tayvon saying, get off, it's crap.
Okay, let me stop you a second. You heard a grass sound and then you said something. What did you say?
I was trying to say, Tayvon, what's going on?
And what did you hear?
I said, Tayvon, I kind of heard Tayvon saying, get off.
Then what did you hear?
Then the second lady, the phone hung up.
Okay, so that is the testimony in question, and that is what he is suing for. They're saying that she was coached to testify and that, the girlfriends were swapped or something, and they're alleging that there was defamation of character and all of this hoopla, even though his raggedy behind got acquitted and he's not even rotting in jail. I mean, he should just go somewhere and go eat his food, but he feels as though, he wants to sue for $100 million. $100 million. I'm sorry if that came out weird. I don't know. But I want to know what you think about that. But moving on, let's talk about Botham Jean's brother accepting this award on behalf of I think it was like the police or something like that gave him this award. And they were honoring him for sucking up to the murderer of his brother and giving her a hug at the trial. So let me read through this article and bring you guys up to speed on this mess. Okay, so this article that I'm going to read from is from dallasnews.com, and they talk about him receiving this award for this act of forgiveness, okay, in the trial. It says, the teenager who brought the courtroom and observers around the world to tears when he forgave the former Dallas cop who murdered his brother. I don't know who was nobody that I know was brought to tears from when he did that. Everybody I know was shocked and appalled. But let me reread that statement to make sure I read it right, because I don't think that anybody I know was brought to tears. Wait, let me see again. The teenager who brought a courtroom and observers around the world to tears. Yeah, nobody I know did that. But anyways, when he forgave the former Dallas cop who murdered his brother, Botham Jean, stepped into the spotlight again Tuesday when he accepted an award from a group that trains police officers. Brant Jean, 18, received the 2019 Ethical Courage Award from the Institute for Law Enforcement Administration. The Plano-based group said Jean should be admired for the example he set by forgiving and hugging Amber Geiger. It should say for forgiving and hugging convicted murderer who didn't get the sentence that she deserves, convicted murderer Amber Geiger, who killed his brother. And it says after she was sentenced to 10 years in prison for murdering his brother. That article is not wording it correctly enough for me. Let me go to NBCnews.com to read what they have written up. They talk about this award and how, it came from this police group. And this is what the brother said in his acceptance speech. It says, I am honored to accept it on behalf of my brother, Botham Jean, who was an example of ethical leadership, Brant Jean told an Institute gathering in Plano, Texas. When Brant Jean hugged Geiger at her sentencing, it set off a fierce debate about the appropriateness of forgiveness in police brutality cases. And on Tuesday, Jean admitted that he had second thoughts about his actions that day. Now, this sounds more accurate about the climate of the hug than the other article, because I didn't see nobody brought to tears, but I seen a lot of people who felt a way about whether it was appropriate, not appropriate when it came to him and when it came to the judge. So they kind of summarized what he said. Let me read what he said exactly. I never intended for the statement I made to the person that murdered my brother to receive such international recognition, Jean said. To be honest, I struggled with it for a long time, as I struggled with accepting this award from this agency. He added, my brother was well aware of the danger posed to young black men by police. I am grateful for this award for the same reason I was grateful for the opportunity to embrace her after she was convicted of murder in her trial, he said. After being found guilty by a jury of her peers, sentenced under the law, Ms. Geiger needed to be forgiven and I needed to be free from the burden of unforgivenness. Sounds like BS. So, I mean, it is what it is. He also, in his speech, he urged the cops to do better, saying that, you know, they need to do better, yada, yada. Still bullshit. I wouldn't have accepted this award because it's like, it's just a slap in the face all the way around. But I want to know what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about George Zimmerman, him suing the parents of Trayvon Martin for $100 million or attempting to try and sue them for $100 million? And what do you think of Botham Jean's brother getting an Ethical Courage Award for sucking up to sucking up to Amber Geiger, the murderer, and the police system for how corrupt they are and, you know, being forgiving in her murdering and killing his brother? I mean, let me know what you guys think down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't wait. Do it right now. And turn on your post notifications so you're notified when I post another video. And share the videos. That helps too. All right, guys.